Hi, I'm Professor Nordell, and I teach courses in the Visual and Digital Arts program here at American International College. And many of the courses that I teach are in our state-of-the-art Mac lab. But I teach a course called Cultivating Creativity. It's very much of a hands-on course where we use some different art tools for learning about ourselves and creativity. And I teach them in my art lab right here. As I mentioned in Cultivating Creativity, we use art tools, but we also study theories of the creative process. What happens in the mind just before a moment of insight? So my thought is with Cultivating Creativity, if you can cultivate the proper conditions for creative insight, you can apply that both in class and in your lives as well. Often with creativity, we talk about thinking outside the box. I like to say here at AIC, we actually create the box itself. For example, when students did a collaborative artwork like this, instead of going out and buying a frame, I worked with students and we actually built the frame for the project. Really exciting aspect, I believe, for the students is twice a semester in Cultivating Creativity, we go and visit some of the museums at the Springfield Museums Complex. One of the assignments for students is to create a visual representation of their experience at the museum. And here's an example here where a student showed or created a little mini museum of her own that shows some of the artwork that she deeply connected with. The goal for students who are visual and digital arts majors is to develop a creative, flexible mindset. As we know, the changes in technology in the past 5 years or the past 10 years surpassed almost all technological change for thousands of years before that. So in this fast-paced, changing society, as I mentioned, we're trying to instill an adaptable and creative mindset in students so they can be prepared for the variety of employment opportunities that will appear in the future, that even right now there'll be employment opportunities a year from now that we don't even know those jobs exist. But what we're really looking at is the visual side of communications. So whether it's a corporation and they have a marketing department, students could work on the visual side in that marketing department, whether it's creating videos or photos or working with graphic design. The graphic design is a big part of the visual and digital arts major. There's so many opportunities on the web. Every day there's a need for more and more creative visual content for the web. And on the web you have the opportunity of creating multimedia projects. And so, for example, with the digital storytelling course, students are learning to capture audio, still photography, videos as well.
Hi, I'm Cheyenne Wilkins, and I'm a visual digital arts major. In Cultivating Creativity, I like block printing because it's really cool. Making your own designs and seeing what it looks like on paper. And you actually have to think about what you're actually doing because it has to be like the mirror image of it. So you're just like expressing yourself through creative drawings and makes you think more outside the box. And that's what I like about it. Digital storytelling, like I really love the class because it's always like making videos in my spare time. So like learning how to do it instead of like me just like searching it on the internet like, oh, how do I do it? You actually get taught how to do it.
Hi, I'm Joseph Berard. I'm a sophomore here at AIC. I'm a communications major and I'm going to pick up a visual digital arts minor. So for VDA, I've taken 2 classes so far. I've taken Cultivating Creativity and Digital Photography 1. So Cultivating Creativity was during my first semester here at AIC, and it was really fun. It really involved like more art type stuff, which I've never really done in college yet. So Cultivating Creativity was very different from what I've taken so far, and it still is different from most of the other classes I've taken because it was very relaxed compared to the hectic work schedules of other classes I've taken. Now, as far as Digital Photography 1 goes, I've been having a blast in that class. We're about halfway through the semester now, so I'm not finished yet. But we just finished our midterm portfolios, and I think I did a fine job on that. And just going out some classes and just taking pictures after a short little introduction to what we're doing for the day is it's just so fun.
In the Mac Lab, I teach some of the core courses for the visual and digital arts major, such as digital photography, as well as digital storytelling. And digital storytelling, we look at how stories have been told over the years, that there's consistent aspects of stories that made them good when we were sitting around the campfire 20,000 years ago, that make stories effective today as well. However, we do use the digital tools to tell these stories, publish them on the web, so now we're all sitting around the international campfire of a glowing screen and listening and watching stories. The major is called Visual and Digital Arts, and the idea is that students gain a firm foundation in the traditional visual arts, whether it's drawing, painting, or sculpture, but the thrust of the course is really looking at the visual and digital arts, that digital aspect of it. So we teach a lot of courses over in the Mac Lab, whether it's digital photography or whether it's digital storytelling, as well as other courses on internet communication and the history of communication, visual communication. Well, you hear a lot of visual, a lot of communication. That's what we're about here with this major. Other opportunities include working in the field of advertising. And say if you're interested in theater as well, there's artists that need to be involved with set design and so on. But there's also opportunities for students who want to get into arts education to become teachers. And in general, as I mentioned, it's really working on that visual side of communications, whether in the corporate sector or in the nonprofit sector.